Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's my question. Like, should we wait till after the meeting? You know, or I mean, then do you need to? What if we just tell Mike, like, hey, budget 40 to 50K? You know, we're just like, hey. Is a worksheet in that link that you all have where you can go do this with your team. It's the thing that everything we talk about. I'm not talking about. You don't have to reshape everything you're doing. It's just about having these plays that we run. Again, like, oh, hey, this team's behind. What's the play we're going to run to get them caught up? It's like, hey, they're coming in here. How are we going to like change our first call? This isn't like infinite number of changes. There's like a very small handful that can immediately upgrade your sales experience. Second in is numerical priority. So this was interesting. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, pain and issues, like those are things, like they're an important part of the sales process. And then I thought about, I've managed thousands of sales reps probably in my career. And I thought about when I asked one rep to listen to a call and I'm like, and they're like, there was a pain. Yeah, that guy. And then another rep's like, no, man, like that's a fact. Like pains and needs, I have found to vary very highly between reps. Like this rep gets happy, oh yeah, no, there's a need. So that's why numerical priority makes this black and white. Numerical priority is instead of saying, what are your top 2 pains, you say, great, what are your top 2 or 3 priorities, or top 2 priorities? Great, numerically, is this in your top 3 or 5 that you have to solve in the next 2 quarters? Again, going back to how people buy today, we've got so many different competing priorities. If you are not a numerical top 3 priorities, and imagine you could be a numerical top 3 for the user team, they're like, yeah, we need this, but they're implementing an ERP and the exec team doesn't give 2 shits. And so you're priority number 8. Right? So again, we even have different numerical priorities. So why I love numerical priority, there's no guesswork. Is this a top 3 numerical priority for you this quarter or next quarter? Yes or no? Because guess what? If you're not a top 3 or top 5, it ain't getting done. The deal's not happening. Right? And so why I like numerical priority better than needs or pains is it makes them quantify it. Right? And it's them telling me it's a numerical priority, not my definition of is there a pain. You still have to ask those questions, but this question will help you to cut through it a little bit more. And last but not least, and again, other methodologies, is time to impact. Now keep in mind, the reason I call this out is your customers don't care about signed contracts. I don't care about the signed contract. I need to know when this thing's going to impact XYZ KPI. And so again, it's always interesting to me. Medic does call this out. They have I for impact. And I'm like, that's good. That works. I'll take that. Right? But you've got to reorientate your sales brain to this. The customer, in the entire time the customer is talking to you or not talking to you, they are not thinking about the contract sign date. You know, maybe if there's like maybe there's an end of year budget or maybe there are times, right? So it's not 100%. They're thinking about like, okay, if we do this, then we're going to have to go live, and then I'm going to have to train. Who's going to train the team? And this is why, again, it's kind of shocking to me how many sales teams do a poor job of not talking about the deployment process early, like really early. You know, usually after like the second or third call, like definitely when you're walking them through the proposal, a big section of your proposal should be like, and we're going to take care of everything. Here's our process over this time. You know, can we accelerate timelines? It's possible. Here's how, right? Because again, the customer cares about impact. So when you're putting together your proposal, you need to work it backward from their timeline. It also will help you come like your fake end of the month stuff, right? It's like, look, this is the timeline you told me, right? And again, I will talk to my customer about this. I'll say, hey, when do you need to see impact by? Just ask them. Well, we need this live. Okay, well, what happens if it slips? Well, it can slip a little bit. Okay, cool. That's fine. So just think about those things. One, if you're a rep or a sales org, if you're driving next steps, you've got next steps set up, right, across the board. You know who the teams are and you're moving them through the process, right? You know where they are, their education level, and so you're kind of meeting them where they're at as well too. You understand this is the top 3 numerical priority, and you understand whenever they need to see impact by, like, it's good enough. Like, it's about as good as we're going to get, right? So that's why we've come up with this framework, because we feel like it's much more customer focused as a part of this, right? And so all of you, there's an intent tip sheet that's in there. You don't need to read it. It's the same QR code as a part of it. So yeah, maybe we've got a little bit of time for Q&A. So I know we've covered, some of these concepts you're probably like, okay, I think I get it. That's fine. I know it's a little different, right, as a part of it. So got a few minutes for some Q&A if you all have some. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier in terms of you're almost running two different sales processes, one with the end user, one
Yep.
with the economic buyer. How would you measure that in terms of like Salesforce stages? Do you literally run two different ones, or is it
No.
criteria you have to have?
No, what we'll usually do is that's where you use forecast category. So your sales stages are like your linear stages. So like I might have a deal at stage 3 or 4, but let's say if I know I haven't talked to anybody, that might be in pipeline versus best case, for example. So we would use almost all of our clients is more of like random best practices. Almost all of our clients we forecast off of forecast category, not stages. Forecast category is a much more, and we have very black and white definitions of activities that have to have happened in those forecast stages. But I could be at step 4, and I've got it forecasted to close at the end of the month, but I know that the main point of contact is going out on paternity leave. Where another deal is like it's at step 4, it's done, I know it's done, etc. So forecast category is just a superior way to forecast. There's a pro tip for that. Yeah. Which slide? Types of buyer. No, that's me. Yeah. This one. Yeah. All right, just leave it up. All right, man. There you go. Just leave it up for you. Yes.
You talked about having a demo on your website or whatever. So how long do you recommend that being with people's first?
Yeah, 5 to 12 minutes. 5 to 12, somewhere in that range.
Should you worry at all about competitors? We have a lot of competitors that
Yeah.
do demos of our system, and we kind of catch them pretty quickly.
Look, for me, what am I going to do with that? You demoed the product. Like in a 5-minute video, if I really wanted to take your trades, you're going to go demo to any person. I think that's probably a relatively, could they rip off some of your features? Sure, but I could you're probably a client that I'm trying to take from you already is using your system, and I can tell her to pull it up and hey, let me see what your features are. I would not be worried about it. Now, I'm sure if you're in some top secret, heavy regulated, there could be a use case for that. But what I will call out is what we were talking about, Trenton, is what I said, what you need to have is multiple types of demos. You need to have an executive demo. That one should be 5 minutes, and you're not really talking about the product. That you're talking about impact. Then you've got your end-to-end user demo. That's where you're getting in the weeds. This is how I'm going to make your life easier. Then I've got the person's boss demo. That's the one where it's this is what it's going to do for your productivity. This is what it's going to do for your department. So you should really have at least 3, if not multiple. You should have a CFO demo. Hey, CFO, do you want to talk impact and ROI? Here's 4 ways that we're going to help you to do that. So, yeah. Again, I don't know your industry well enough, so there could be a good reason not to do it. But I always err on the side of those people aren't going to do anything with it. Right? They'll look at it, but it's not your whole demo, right? 5 minutes. There's only so much you can show. Yeah.
Do you find, Trent and I work together, but our live demos are extremely high close rate. And
Yeah.
My fear when I hear you talk
Yeah.
about it is if all of a sudden they watch the 7 to 10 minute demo, the questions that we normally tackle that come up and then we kind of educate them on the
Totally.
close, is that just kind of my own fear and should just kind of set that to the side?
100% makes it. That's everybody. I think that what you are saying is what most people are exactly worried about. Well, I need to hear what they're saying so I can customize it. The goal of this demo is not to sell for you. It's to educate, right? So if somebody watches it, I'm not going to now think I don't need to go do a live demo. It's more of because again, the goal of this isn't really, even demo is probably a bad word that I'm using. It's more of an online walkthrough / sales video that's hey, here's what the product, again, if it's for, let's say, the department leader, it's going to be great, hey, I partner with other directors of marketing, this is what we do. So as the director of marketing, again, it might be part demo, maybe part stats. So it's less demo-y, I guess is maybe a better way to think about it, to where you don't want to get too in the weeds, you want to peak, the goal of the video is to educate and pique interest. And then if I come in, I'm going to be hopefully more likely to be oh yeah, I saw that thing, potentially.
I've seen the software where it's kind of you got to walk me on our side where they can click through various things.
Yeah, great.
Are you in favor of more of a true video for some of these things, or?
It depends on the product. I think if it's a more complex product if it's really super intuitive, then yeah, then more of that could play. like where the UI is like already known, you know what I mean? Like, but it would really depend on the product. If like you're going to do more of that. If it's like something where like natively I could really quickly pick it up, then yeah, sure. All right, we'll go out and enjoy happy hour. Thanks everybody, appreciate it. Hey, how are you?
Are you Austin based?
I am, man. Yeah.
So for organizations that already have like sales methodology,
Yeah, sure.
what kind of sessions or trainings do you and your team come in? And
One of the biggest ones is that last piece we talked about, where it's like, hey, we have a process. We would like, we do want to think of new ways to interact with buyers.
Right.
That's usually the easiest one. Usually the easiest one is to do some type of like that VEX exercise, where it's like, okay, what if? Because look, nobody says we want to have a slower sales process, right? Everybody. It's like, hey, if you want to increase your sales or decrease your sales cycle, we have to have a way to move people faster, not just like tweaks to our process, which is what
we're doing like an overlay to an existing process.
Exactly
rather
right.
than saying, we're gonna redo
Exactly.
your process.
I think most companies that's kind of where they're at, and so we're like, okay, great, because that's step one. Step one is just to start to think more customer centric, which is like, hey, and then then there's a lot of like positive reinforcement when they see someone's like, yeah, hey, I do already use, like when they get like the replies and people are like, oh man, I would have never known that this person was like this far down the funnel if I just didn't ask. We're not used to asking. Like we're trained, and I don't know about you all. When I went through sales, like you assume that they know nothing, right? Like I've got to do this, and that was fun 15, 20 years ago. 15 years ago, like they couldn't learn more about your product, right? Like I could go to your website maybe, but there wouldn't be a lot of information. So, because of that, people are just more further and educated now. So like
half day, full day with
yeah, it depends. And we also do a mix of like, most of our work is like, how do we solve the problem? So like we'll do like a workshop can be a component of it, but it's also like, let's look at the sales stages. Let's help to come up with some ideas of what we could do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's probably, we do a lot of workshop work stuff, but most of our work is let's like solve the problem. So as long as if they have a really strong enablement or ops teams, like great, then we can help work with them to make sure the ship lands. But this is something that like sales has to, the leadership team, we've got to out like a workshop basically. We do like a customer kind of journey map, and then basically then we kind of go back a longer version of what we did, which is, okay, what if they're here? Now, how are we going to handle that different? Now, what if they're here? And again, there's not infinite variations, but it's good. Everyone gets, I think like we're all consumers too. And so I think people are like, this like feels better. It feels better that like I'm asking them where they're at in their process. I'm meeting. So the change management is more usually senior sales leadership. Reps get it. Reps are like, yeah, that makes sense. But they've been brainwashed to be like, no, I can't put somebody here unless they're here. Like I have to do this.
That's where my inspections are coming in.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's really refreshing.
Awesome, man. Good.
Yeah.